Hi everyone, Thao here. We're back at it today with 4 more interesting gadgets. As usual, I'll break it down and you just let me know if the product is a hit, meaning you love it, or a miss, aka you're not interested. So when you think of gaming phones, most of us usually picture something with that gamer aesthetic, like RGB lights and really quirky in-your-face designs. And you know what? Not everyone's into that. Well, Nubia has decided to do something a little different. As a follow-up to the Redmagic 6 gaming phone, this is the Redmagic 6R. Basically, they've chopped the price by $100 and have gone with a lighter, sleeker, and more traditional smartphone design. It still has some gaming design elements, but for the most part, this looks like a typical smartphone. In terms of specs, this is just as beefy as the Redmagic 6, but because it's cheaper, you lose out on a few notable features. It only has a single bottom firing speaker, the battery is smaller, and they've ditched the cooling fan. These are some drastic cuts, especially for a gaming phone, but this phone is probably more geared towards the casual gamer. Someone who wants a lighter, sleeker design that doesn't automatically scream gaming phone, but someone who still likes to kick back and enjoy an hour or two of Call of Duty Mobile when they get home. They did thankfully keep the mappable triggers, which is probably the one hardware feature you'd want anyways, if first-person shooters are your thing. I feel like the 6R is in an awkward position. It moves away from its roots of being a gaming phone and shifts more towards being another Android phone. I think they're gonna have a hard time competing with Google or Samsung when it comes to software and support. But at this price point, there's still a good amount of value when you consider the hardware. Next up is a product that aims to improve your experience when playing touch-based games on your tablet. Yes, I said tablet. This is the Gamesir F7 Claw. Yeah, it's got a unique design, that's for sure. But basically, it comes in 2 parts that attach to either side of your tablet. It stays in place with the help of a spring-loaded clamp and a whole bunch of small suction cups. Tell me this doesn't remind you of octopus tentacles. I found the suction cups to work pretty good, but the problem is it will slide if you push it up or down. To help with this, Gamesir gives you stickers in the box that you can slap on the back of the tablet, and this solves that issue. Another thing to note is that this controller is really only compatible with games where you can customize the position of the on-screen buttons. Each controller has 2 buttons that perform any action that's positioned under the labeled claw, here and here. When you've set it up properly, you now have 4 extra actions that are much easier to reach. Comfort-wise, yeah, this feels good. It's a much better experience than having the edges of the tablet digging into your hands. I've been testing this thing with 2 pretty big tablets though, and I really don't think this makes a lot of sense if you have 12-inch plus tablets because it's just way too heavy to be using handheld for long periods of time. It's doable, but ideally, you'd pair this with something smaller. Battery life is also pretty darn good. Gamesir quotes about 120 hours per charge, with a full charge done through USB-C, taking about 2 hours or so. Both will need to be charged individually though. Growing up, I always thought that a keyboard is a keyboard. They're all the same and there's no way I'm spending more than I have to on one. But slowly, I'm starting to understand the passion that people have for them. So I've been testing the V84 wireless mechanical keyboard from Vissles. It's a 75% keyboard with no numpad and hot swappable keys, so you can physically change the mechanical switches underneath the keycap if you wanted to. Most of us likely won't do this, so by default, they come with linear switches. There's very little feedback with each key press, so if you like clickiness, this won't provide that. One major benefit is that these switches don't make as much noise, so it won't drive the people around you crazy. It took me a while to get used to the less tactile typing experience, but after I did, it's been a dream to type on. I actually think I type faster on this. Love how easy the keys are to press and just the sound it makes. I'm a big fan of the white keycaps, but if I were designing this, I would probably change a couple of things. I'd make the frame a white or gray and have the lettering on the keycaps be see-through so the backlighting can actually shine through. As is though, I still think this has a classy, mature look to it with some old school keyboard vibes. It's a clean look. The V84 works with both Mac and Windows, can pair up to 5 devices, comes with these awesome magnetic feet to elevate the keyboard, and will last up to 180 hours if you keep the backlight off. This next item is the desk mat from Orbitkey. They've kind of taken the concept of a desk mat and added a few interesting organizational features to it. First up is the magnetic cable holder, which keeps a single cable in place so that it's easily accessible to you and won't go sliding off the desk when not in use. This way, when you need to charge your phone, tablet, keyboard, or mouse, the cable is right there. The cable holder sits in a dedicated slot along the top that honestly comes in really handy for keeping things like pens, USB sticks, and small things like that in a dedicated spot. If you flip up the top layer, there's also this document hideaway where you can store loose papers and notes so they're out of sight when you don't need them. The top layer is 100% vegan leather, while the bottom layer has this felt-like finish to it. Does having these organizational features make this worth $65? I'm not so sure, but I will say this is one of the best looking and feeling desk mats I've ever used. The finish is super smooth, it doesn't attract dirt or dust, and if you do spill something on it, you can easily wipe it down. Alright, that's a wrap for this episode. Be sure to let me know in the comments your thoughts on each product and if it was a hit, meaning you love it, or a miss, aka you're not interested. As usual, thank you all so much for watching. Until the next one, I'm out of here.